was so overwhelmed. There was stuff everywhere. Like John was like, "Can I come home yet?" And I was like, "You can."
After about what was it? Maybe
it was like 5 or 6 hours.
5 hours or 6 hours.
And he's like, "Can I come home yet?" And I'm like, "Well, you can, but there's nowhere to sit."
Welcome back to Unordinary Path, everybody. I'm John. This is Kristen. Behind us is our travel trailer that we travel around the country with. I am fortunate enough to be a travel nurse, and Kristen here is the tag along with our 3 kids and the dog, and we just go all over and share our adventures with you guys.
Yeah. Today we're going to take you on a journey through our post-Christmas madness and talk about downsizing a little bit.
Yeah.
And we got showered with a lot of love. And I'm saying love because sometimes people give you gifts, not sometimes, all the time. People give gifts because they want to shower love on you. We had a lot of love to distribute inside our RV when we got back to Columbia.
We live in such a small and tight space, and it's taken some getting used to. I will say our family, I think, has gotten really good at it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think they did really good this year.
Yeah.
Our kids got a lot of really cool, sciencey type kits and craft things and consumable stuff that we'll use and then be able to get rid of over the course of time. So they got a lot of really great things.
Yeah, experience gifts are wonderful too, and I feel like they also did a good job of that too.
Yeah, absolutely. We've done a video in the past about gifts that you can give somebody if they're traveling in an RV, and you can check that one up here. So today we're going to introduce you to real life in our RV. We love sharing real life. So I have some pretty scary footage of what it looked like before. Good morning. It's cleaning week, so I'm not putting my makeup on and doing my hair because I have a really big job to do. I'm gonna unload the van and I'm gonna start trying to sort through everything and hopefully come up with some organization hacks as well and figure out what we can part with at this time, whether we're gonna donate it or maybe store it back at John's folks' house for a little while. See the damage here. Woo! Look at all this stuff. Look at that beautiful keyboard. I'm so excited. All right, we got to figure out how to get all these. Are all gifts, guys. The IKEA bags are full of gifts. Well, luckily everything is still in the van because a child left a door open all night long. Yay, children. I am so completely overwhelmed with the amount of stuff in the RV right now. I can't even organize, I can't focus. There is not room for all 5 of us for me to organize things. It can be really, really overwhelming, especially if you have a bunch of people and a dog all crammed into the same space. So my first tip is to have one of you take all the kids and the dog out somewhere while the other stays behind.
That was me this go round. Most of the time it is. I will say, Kristen, I am very fortunate because my wife actually likes to organize things.
I do. That label gun is my best friend.
It's true, it's true.
So nerdy. I'm such a nerd, but I love it.
Salt, pepper.
They really are all labeled.
They are.
It's a new day and John has taken the kids out somewhere because, whoa, this place is a disaster and I'm pulling everything out of all the cabinets. I'm starting in the kids' room because we have a storage space back here and that's where some of the stuff that we've got is going to be stored at, and I needed to kick the kids completely out of this room, and I'm starting here so that when they get back, hopefully this room will be done and they can hang out in here. Comfy, Smooch? Are you comfy? She looks quite comfy, but I'll be kicking her out too here in a minute. Since we know we're going going to Phoenix next, I am going through all of the kids' clothes because it doesn't make sense to not go through everything. If I have to pull everything out anyways, I'm going to go through all their clothes. I'm pulling things that they probably aren't going to need in Phoenix or that are maybe like on the verge of being too small, and we're going to donate them if they're still in a quality that they can be donated. I've got the winter clothes packed away in their space saver bags, which helped tremendously. And then I also have our Yeti is behind Aaron's dresser here. And then this little space right here, this is where I'm going to save another space saver bag, and we're gonna put any of our extra blankets. I don't think we'll be needing our heating blankets in Phoenix, but we don't want to get rid of them because we might still use them off and on, and it will be good to have with us. So we'll probably compress those. Once we leave here, we'll compress them into a space saver bag and they'll just sit right on top of that box there. It's great in an RV to have a place for everything, so that when it's time to pick up, everybody knows where it goes. It's labeled, it's easy to put away. That's like one of the best ways to keep yourself organized. But also know that your kids will not always follow that, especially in their bedroom. If you label like Barbie toys and baby doll toys, just know
it's going to get filled with Nerf bullets and who knows what else.
It doesn't matter.
So having some grace and patience is a key in that regard. Yeah.
And also in that, just give yourself some grace to know that it's probably not just going to be a one-day process. For me, it took 4 days, 1 full day without the kids, and then 3 days with the kids. It maybe would have been shorter if I had 2 days without the kids, but you do what you got to do.
Sorry.
Okay, as I'm going through, I'm also doing things like checking for mold spores, because sometimes they can pop up underneath your mattress, and I don't want to replace mattresses, but if we have any mold in here, I want it gone. And since we've been in a place where we've had a lot of condensation, I thought it prudent to check. And Ethan's bed looks clean. I do not see any mold spores at all around or under his mattress. However, unfortunately, I am going to replace his blinds, because if you can see here, there's definitely, I thought it was dirt, but as I opened it up, I believe that they are mold spores. And he has been having kind of a runny nose issue happening when he goes to bed, and I think this is the culprit. So I'm getting rid of these. I'm going to disinfect his walls, change his sheets, and I think we should be good. One of our rules that we like to follow is the 2 contract rule or the 6-month rule. If you don't use it in 2 contracts, you got to get rid of it.
Time to go. And that goes for everything.
If you go through your cabinets and you realize that I never use the spatula ever, like, why are you keeping it? Get rid of it.
Yeah, it's just extra weight too.
Yeah.
What goes in must come out. And basically, I think what she means by that is that, what do you mean by that?
I just mean that we have to be weight conscious. So if you bring new stuff in, you got to get rid of some stuff. You can't just constantly bring more and more and more and more in like you would in a house. Like, I mean, you shouldn't do that in a house.
Well, you can't hoard in an RV.
You cannot hoard in an RV. So if you get an influx of things like Christmas or birthdays, an influx of stuff, then you got to get rid of a lot. Yeah. We got rid of more trash than I would like to admit. And we have...
Well, a lot of that was boxes and stuff.
Yes. And we also got rid of some things that we weren't using. We got replacements for our French press and our tea kettle. Yep. So we're donating the ones we aren't using anymore.
Yep. And it's nice because you think about it like this. Holidays, birthdays, things like that where gifts are received is a good time for you to go through and have another purge. And maybe you can actually purge more than you're bringing in. That's the ideal. I mean, when you live in a space like this, you do have to be constantly downsizing.
You can go back and look at our downsizing video from when we moved from our 2,600 foot home in Colorado
we had so
to a rental in Kansas, and then to our RV, 400 square feet or less in our RV. And it's a process. It was a long process. It was 6 months from the time we started to the time we hit the road. And it's a big deal, but it does not stop. Once you move into your RV, it is an ongoing process.
Yep. Today, we were trying to find a place for Cinder to stay, and it was all about documents, and does she have this, and does she have that, and when was the last vaccine, and la 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 la. If you guys RV with the dog, you know this is one of those things that you have to have. Don't keep paperwork that you don't need. There are lots and lots of scanner apps out there, you guys. Just take a snapshot. Most everyone has cell phones these days that are smartphones. Take a snapshot of that and save it somewhere, whether it's on a phone. We utilize Google Drive because it's just Google servers are not likely to go down. There's lots of cloud services. Apple has, everybody has these things. So utilize one of these services. A lot of them are out there for free, and you can just keep like tax documents. You know, anything paperwork, insurance stuff, all that stuff can go online. So you not have, we used to have file cabinets.
Yeah.
We used to have file cabinets at our house.
We did. We don't anymore.
Can't have those here, so utilize stuff like that.
Here's one that hurts a little bit. You see this? We love you so much, Mommy. This is a coffee mug that I got when my boys were little, before Chloe was ever born. And so it has pictures of the boys that we took in our backyard in Gardner, Kansas, like 8 years ago. And John has one that's even older that only has Aaron on it. And these mugs have stayed with us for this whole process. We couldn't get rid of them when we downsized our house, and so we stored them here inside the RV. And now I am clearing out stuff again to make room for new things that we brought in for Christmas. And the logic in me is saying, you don't use these cups. You have other coffee mugs that you prefer to use. I don't use the ones with handles because they don't fit in my car very well. And so I never use this. And I just found it in a drawer that we never ever open in our kitchen table. And it's time to say goodbye to them. So what I did was I took pictures of them and I uploaded them to our Google Drive so that I can always see what they looked like. But I just can't justify keeping them. They're just taking up space. So we are going to go ahead and get rid of them, and I'm super sad. And I know there are things that you have that are very hard to get rid of. Now, I will not lie. There are things that we kept of our children's that are in storage at John's parents' house in his old bedroom. And there are things that we absolutely couldn't part with. And even if we went back and looked at them now, I still don't think that we would part with them because they have that much sentimental value to them. So I'm not saying you have to get rid of everything that you have sentimental value of, but sometimes you do have to make a hard choice, and something that might help you through that is to take pictures of them and keep them on some kind of uploaded hard drive so that you can look back on them if you want to and remember all the times that you did use those items. This is an easel that Chloe got for her birthday a few months ago. And at the time, I bought the easel because it's folds up, or so it says. It's a lot more difficult to fold up than it said it would be. And I don't want to get rid of it completely because she does enjoy using it, but we just don't have a lot of room on our RV to store it. So this is an item that is going to come back to her home base with us and just store in a bedroom for now until we decide to have a house again. So that is one thing that you can do. Just because it's not working for you on your RV doesn't mean you have to get rid of it or sell it. You can always store it, or maybe ask a family member if you can leave it at their house so when you come to visit, the kids can use it when they are over there. Another thing that you can do is to get rid of packaging. We got a lot of craft kits and things, which
Science
are
kits and things
awesome.
like that.
Yeah, they're really great. But they come in these big, massive cardboard boxes, and there's a ton of wasted space inside of those. So what I did was I went through the box and I just took out the items and I kept the instructions. You don't want to get rid of the instructions.
Yeah.
With it in a Ziploc bag. And then that way they were easier to store in our little bench where we have all of our homeschool and science and craft projects under there.
With homeschooling and road schooling and things like that, and also Christmas and some of the things that we, suggest for people to buy our kids, a lot of those are like activity books, coloring books, things like that. They love to buy, and so do we, frankly, to get neat activity books for the kids to do. After a while of doing them, they don't always finish them all. And while it may be tempting to continue to save those because they haven't finished them all, sometimes you have to purge and just refresh those type of activity books.
Another thing is to think outside the box when it comes to storing stuff. You don't only have to use Sterilite tubs or whatever. You can use cereal boxes and other random things that fit the space that you're hoping to organize.
Cargo netting.
Yes, cargo
too,
netting.
Stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah. You sort of have to get creative a little bit, because it's always about not only the less amount of stuff, but it's also about the weight. what you can
We're
say.
rambling.
Wow, that was really loud. At least it was on
I
camera.
thought we were going over. We were going over.
No, we weren't. I had it under control.
Thank you so much for being here. Join us every week as we do Real Talk Tuesdays on Tuesday and our journey over the weekend. And we will see you next
Catch you
week.
out there.
All right. Bye.